Hello and welcome to today's video. We had 12 series take place today, so there's a lot to go over. A lot affected the power rankings. Gen G HLE. HLE continued to do well in this rounds 1 and 2 split, along with KT, definitely bringing themselves slowly but surely back up the power rankings from what was an awful LCK Cup, and HLE were kind of wronged by that format anyways. So that is the thing. Um, yeah, it's crazy how that LCK Cup format ended up transpiring. But regardless, when this split, when these teams get to playoffs, it's going to knock other teams out of playoffs that were there in the LCK Cup and even things out. And slowly but surely, HLE and KT will come out. But regardless, HLE 2-0 Gen G, and it wasn't dominant. Just because it's a 2-0 win, I mean, HLE took both Barons, but the Drakes were 5-4. Gold control, when you factor in Drake's, HLE were ahead for only 54% of the series. So, I mean, they won 2-0, but it wasn't a blowout. It was a close series, a competitive series. Zeka 21-2 and 18, 32% of damage, 83 KP. He led the way. Had a 656 gold lead on average in mid into Chovy, which is significant. Kanavi did well also, 618 gold ahead. Ruler had 2 solo 2v2 kills. Duro 90 KP in the loss. They were slightly ahead. Barely anything. Keen as well. Keen had 28% of damage, excuse me. HLE's 2 Barons, only 1100 gold to power play. Zeus and Guma for HLE also had solo kills as well. DNS KT, this was a blowout. DNS led for only a couple minutes of this entire series, and it was like bullshit minutes early on in the game when nothing's happening and they got like a little bit more farm. KT were ahead for 96% of the minutes played in this one. They took all the Drakes, all 8. Only needed 1 Baron in this series. Had 7,400 gold with it. Aiming 10-0-13, 33% of damage. Effort 80 KP as the bot lane duo were ahead about 1,100 gold at 15 minutes. Also, when we did the math here with Gen G, they're up about HLE, they're up about 1,200, 1,300 gold at 15 minutes. In this series, KT were up almost 3,000 gold at 15 minutes, 2,800 or so. A very strong performance. Quantum played for DNS. He went 1-4-5, 86 KP in his return to the LCK. Due to 28% of damage in the loss. Perfect had 2 solo kills. Duck Dom had 1 as well. But DNS were no match. And despite them being ranked 20th, I do expect DNS and KRX to probably be the 2 teams that drop out for KT and HLE when it's all said and done. I understand Gen G and T1 have struggled, but I'm being realistic here and going to assess and think that KRX and DNS would be the 2 teams that drop out. Should allow KT and HLE to move up above those 2 in the power rankings, and then the rest just follow suit as things go along in the playoffs. But yeah, so LCK 2-2-0s. IG BLG went 2-1. They took the Drakes were split 6-6. BLG took 2 of 3 Barons. This was a solid series, but Knight right now is playing like the best player in the world. He's always in that conversation with Chovy and Carrier for me. And right now he is the best player in the world. I think it is undoubtedly the case. He is super fucking strong. 26, 2 and 14, 77 KP, continues to lead in KDA and kill participation. He may not lead in damage every game, but he is extremely fucking active and he's making things happen and he's not dying doing so. I mean, BLG are on a roll. Maybe finally getting that monkey off his back, which was winning first stand. A tournament that, is definitely the ugly stepchild of the 3 international events. But it was enough for BLG maybe to say, hey, we can do this. And Knight thinking, well, with BLG we can. And he is playing excellent League of Legends. Viper, 2 solo kills, 29% of damage. BLG averaged 4,100 gold to power play in this one. They led in all 4 areas of the Rift. Really only Bin was where there was a difference. Bin had 500 gold at 15 minutes. Actually, that is wrong. I thought that said 103. Knight led by 1,103 gold into Renard. Renard is SOL in that situation. Played very well in Dejahu recently, but in tonight he struggled, and inconsistency is going to happen with a very young player. Shaki for IG played a great series in the loss, 2 solo kills, 21, 7, and 10, 31% of damage, 76 kill participation. IG at 3,700 gold with their Baron. Bin, On, and Wei also putting up solo kills. Weibo, JDG. JDG win this 2-1. They took 10 of 15 Drakes. Weibo took 3 of 4 Barons. This was definitely a tale of two sides, as Weibo were ahead on the top side, about 600 gold, 620 gold or so. Zika and JJ. JJ's playing strong League of Legends as well. It seems game in and game out. He's got the best KDA on Weibo. And JDG were ahead on the bot side. Honkyu and Gala Vampire up about 400 gold. So you do the math, it's very close. A 200 gold difference at 15 minutes on average. It might as well be a toss-up series. Honkyu 12, 4, 19, 33% of damage, 89 KP. He led in all three categories. JDG had 4,300 gold with their one power play. Now, where Weibo struggle is that they took 3 Barons and averaged 500 gold with them. So that's where you lose the game. You did not take advantage of your opportunities and did not punish, so you had some wins. Xiaohu's solo kill was kind of bullshit as the game ended when they won, so it is what it is. JJ 14, 4, 19, Elk 36 damage share, Hung 88 KP in the loss. I did have Weibo winning this one because JDG lost to Nip. Had Genji winning that one, and then the Fluxo Furia series are the only 3 that I got wrong today. DFM MVK win 2-0, dominant fashion, an 87-13 split. They took 5 of 8 Drakes, 3 Barons, averaged 3,700 gold power play. Guri solo kill 9-10, stellar playing this series, and he did very well. 27% of damage, averaging an 817 gold lead into Momo. Momo is definitely on struggle street. He's no Evi as far as Japanese top laners are concerned. So Stellar had a solo, 27% of damage. Harky, 67 KP in the win. Woody, 2-5-15, 89 KP. Fisher, 26% of damage. Chica had 2 solo kills into Fisher for MVK. And Momo also had a solo kill. When we look at the early game, Citrus was pacing Guri in terms of gold difference, up 460 gold on average. Otherwise, it was MVK. They were averaging 1,000 gold lead at 15 minutes. CFO DCG, this was a close one, 60-40. DCG took 9 of 14 Drakes, 3 of 4 Barons, but were only a 60-40 gold control lead. Pout and Kino both show up in their debuts for CFO on the chart here. Hong Su, solo kill, 14-5-21, 28% of damage in the win. DCG had 3,300 gold of power play for their 3. Pout, Shaoxi, 74 KP. Now, Pout for CFO had a solo, 12-6-13. Doggo, 28% of damage. Kino, 74 kill participation. CFO with their 1 Baron, 6,400 gold. And in the early game, actually, CFO had a slight lead, about 600 gold. Much of that with Doggo, Kino into Feng and Shaoxi. Definitely favoring CFO. Kino doing solid alongside Doggo. Feng, 2 solo 2v2 kills, and Florin and Rest split them as well. LEC, Navi, Giant X. So Navi went 2-1. Close one, 56-44. Drake's 8-4. Barons 2-1. So it goes to show Giant X did have gold leads in this one. But when you factor in Drake's, Navi were very competitive. Rylich is like, it's hard to say he's the most underrated player in the LEC. But because he's not in the conversation for the best jungler in the LEC, I think he's underrated. I think he needs to be at least in the conversation. That doesn't mean he needs to win the conversation or the argument, but the fact that he is at the table, like, the kid is really fucking good. He does not put up many duds. He really doesn't. And he doesn't have caps in mid lane or BB in top lane. So there is something to be said for that. You think of the revolving door alongside caps in the jungle, it's never been bad, right? I mean, there's a common denominator there, and he's the best player in Western League of Legends history. So, people should consider that. Not to say Skoo isn't great, or Yike isn't great, or Yankos isn't great, but Rylich is doing it just as well with Poby. 17, 4, 13, 49%, 4,900 power play with 2 of them. Samdi, 4 solo 2v2 kills. 3 of them in game 3. A big difference on the Lucian. 24 damage share. He and Poby actually mimicking each other in DPM. Paris, 74 KP. This was a very close one. Really, Navi were up about 250 gold at 15 minutes total on average, so a very close series. Jackie's 2 solo kills, 16-5-9, 71 KP. Lot, 25% of damage. Maintner had 2 solo kills in this one, and Giant X with their 1 Baron did go negative. And that's not great. We don't love that, of course. The one you get is negative 608. Speaking of caps, G2SK, leader actually had a gold lead on caps on average in this one, 60 gold, so relatively nothing, but still ahead. Drake 6-3 for G2. But SK once again doing very, very well macro-wise into Barons. G2 needed 5 Barons in this one to win. And SK have shown throughout this season to me that they can play very well against Baron. They know how to limit damage from the power play. And maybe one of the better teams in the West at doing so. It really is something. I wish I had kept track of Barons against to see who was the best at it, but SK very well are in that conversation. G2 averaged 2,800 gold across 5 Barons. Hansama 12-3-13 caps, 30% of damage. Lebrav 77 KP. Skeen solo kill 4-9-16, 91 KP. Yopa 29% of damage. Leader and BB had solos. The Diffie in this one was BB. He was up 550 gold on average into Wonder. And the rest of the Rift relatively even. We're looking at about 600 gold lead for G2 at 15 minutes. So not a blowout. 67-33 because of Drakes. But really, SK put up a good fight again into Baron. So that is a thing. Now on to the other board. Okay, now we have CBLOL, LCS, and the power ranking. So you see how things have changed, much of which is in this middle area again, because these teams are all very close. When they play, shit happens. Like all of a sudden KRX don't play, they drop 3 spots after they lost. Well, IG, DNS, and Giant X all lost, so KRX moves back up because those teams all continue to kind of lose in tandem back and forth. KC are 5th by not playing. It's crazy how that's working out. The LPL and LCK are having a problem determining who is really legit. Well, LCK in particular. LPL, I mean BLG are legit. Gen G just continue to be up there because even in the loss today, another series where they lose that's very close and competitive. They're not getting blown out really. And they stacked so many wins early on in the season that they're still 1st or 2nd in pretty much every category, which nobody else can claim really. So that is a thing. But a lot of movement in the middle. HLE moving up 4 spots is nice. Hopefully they stay there. But yeah, so Fluxo Furia got this one wrong. I mean, Fluxo smoked them. It was an 84-16 split. Furia did not show up today. They played like shit. A lot of quiet CBLOL Furia fans out there that talk a lot of shit when their team is winning, but when they lose, it's something else. Like one of those things where you can tell a lot about a fan when they say we are winning and they are losing. When it's not we are winning and we are losing, and instead they insert they are losing, then you know whether they're actually a fan or not. So Fluxo win. They took all 9 Drakes, both Barons. 2,500 gold to power play. Bao 10-11. Curdy 71 KP with a solo. Cody 30% of damage. I mean, Gigo did get the better of Curdy in the matchup, up 600 gold on average. But the rest of the Rift very much in Fluxo's favor. Cody smoking Toots, up 1,000 gold on average in this one. Tatu 3-6-12, 83% of damage. Toots did have 36 damage share in the loss. But, that is what it is. Los into Pain. Los, this series was one of those where Pain should have won. They were up for 60% of the series, technically 58. They took the majority of the Drakes, 10-15. Barons were split 2-2, but they couldn't finish. Ackerman, 2-5-26, 72 kill participation. Zest had a solo kill, 31% of damage. Lowest average 4,200 gold to power play. Kuroka 10-7-26, 92 KP. Trigger 28% of damage in the loss, 3,000 damage for Pain. We look at the diffies here. I mean, Pain were slightly ahead at 15 minutes, but very, very close. And when you factor in Drake's, they were ahead for the majority of this series, but they couldn't get it done. Duda, 5 solo 2v2 kills in this one. A strong performance out of him once more. And Fluxo are down here in the power rankings because like they dug themselves such a hole. Like it's bad enough you are one of the worst. Like so it's being one of the worst teams in the worst region, but also like you are statistically one of the worst teams also. So to get out, you need to at least be okay in one of the worst regions. So that's why Fluxo, even after beating Furia, are still here. Furia do drop a couple spots at 29th though. Cloud9 Disguised, Cloud9 Smoke, Disguised 86-14 split. Drake's 4-2. 2 Barons, 5,400 gold to power play. Balkan went deathless. 40-36, 93 KP. Sven 2 solo 2v2 kills, 26% of damage as they're up 2,000 gold into Sajed and Lions in this one on average. Kryra 168. You know a team was terrible when the best KDA is 168. Call Me 26% of damage, both of them 75 KP. Castle 2 solo kills, Thanatos had 1. Call Me did do well into APA, averaging a 570 gold lead. So that's the thing. Castle did have a slight lead into Thanatos, but Blabber 900 gold ahead, and the bot lane duo ahead 2,000. So it was like a 2,500 gold lead on average for Cloud9 in this series. FlyQuest Sentinels. Sentinels win 2-1. 67-33. Sentinels took 11 of 15 Drakes, so very strong in the macro game. They took 3 of 4 Barons. Early game going the way of FlyQuest in this one. They were ahead everywhere but the bot lane duo. But Sentinels were stacking Drakes, and then it was like, okay, well, come fight us now. And FlyQuest just couldn't win those fights. Huhi 1-2-37, 79 KP. Rahel 4 solo 2v2 kills, 25% of damage. They had a 330 gold lead on average. Cryogen 1-8-19, 87 KP. Quad 2 solo kills, 30% of damage. Fly 1 Baron, negative 1700. Not great. Don't love that. Top side, I mean, Quad had 450. We're looking at this, 122, 336. About a 600 gold lead on average for Fly in these 3 games. At the end of laning phase, and each one on average is 600. It's just they couldn't close it out. So they remain in this middle area. They moved up 1, I guess, because statistically they did. Other teams struggling can help you if you don't int as bad as others. And that kind of happened today, I guess. Gam didn't play at all, so I guess it's just a ripple effective thing. CFO dropped 3 with their loss. Red dropped 3 by not playing. We'll see if they can recover tomorrow. HLE up 4. C9 up 2. So, yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.